right. Welcome everybody to the Herbalist Lounge, June. We are so happy to have you all. This month's topic, as we are approaching the summer solstice, is protect your plants. Okay. So the Herbalist Lounge, this is something we do. It's a gathering. We all come together to share our knowledge, our experiences every second Monday of the month. Okay. So if you're new, we ask that you please mute your mic when you're not speaking to eliminate background noise. But if you have something to say, please feel free to unmute yourself, speak up. This is not a classroom or a lecture. We're all in here to build, to add to the gumbo, and share our thoughts. Okay. You also can utilize the chat. Okay, such as Clarissa, protect your plants. You know it, Clarissa. So feel free to chat, type in the chat, and we'll also keep an eye on that as well. Okay. Right. And your facilitators for this evening are myself. Peace, everyone. I'm Martina, and this evening joining us is also where y'all at?
Peace, it's Asia. Joining y'all from the car in the galaxies.
This is Lanita. I'm being very quiet. It's 2 a.m. in Frankfurt, Germany, but I'm here.
So we're representing the world town, y'all. We got all locations, you know, and yes, I'm calling in from Florida. Okay, I'm calling in from Florida. So if you would like to let us know where you're calling in from, feel free to unmute yourself. Let us know what area are you guys representing, or currently locating and residing in. Feel free to unmute yourself or put in the chat. We want to hear. And welcome for those just now coming in. We were just talking about where we are from.
And what herb you representing?
What herb you representing? Yeah. Can I forget that? I wonder how, Lanita.
Right? Well, I'll start off, y'all. I am sipping on some mint and clove tea, and I'm feeling that nice aromatic warmth all over. So I'm into the goodness tonight.
Nice. All right, y'all. So I know it's a little bit more so in the evening on the East Coast, but I have to keep it real with y'all. Usually I'd be sipping on some bitters or my hibiscus or some passion flower. I'm sipping on some green tea. So we about to get lit. And I just needed some energy. So I'm coming with the green tea energy right now with a little bit of honey to keep it smooth.
Nice. Well, I'm feeling fennel tonight. I got the chance to go to San Diego, and I was reminded and blessed with all the presence of all the diversity of California plants all over again. So I fell in love in fennel, well, nasturtium too, but a lot of plants. But fennel definitely just grows wild in parts of California. It's all on the road, and she just reminded me to put her back in my diet. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. So fennel was talking to me this weekend.
Nice. All right, so I'm looking at the chat and someone says, "Good evening, ladies. I'm sipping on fennel tincture." Okay, in my peach lemonade. I'm in Atlanta, but from New York. Oh my goodness, I love that. Asia, you got a fennel twin over here. Big up fennel tonight in
What's
tincture
up?
form. That sounds good. Okay, shoot. Well, welcome, welcome. All right. So we got a lot of different herbs tonight so far in the mix. Feel free, if you haven't already done so, let us know what herb is resonating with you. And while we do that, we definitely want to honor and give thanks to our ancestors, the ones that came before us, right? The plancestors, all these wonderful plants that we're discussing this evening, the fennel, the green teas, everything in between. And of course, our community, you all, us all coming together to share this knowledge and wisdom so that we can keep passing it on. So thank you all for being here. All right.
Right now, I'm listening to this fennel. So tell me, what are the benefits and how does it taste?
Ooh, I love it.
Who had the
So
fennel?
fennel. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, who had the fennel? I was going to ask.
So for me, fennel, I like it because number one, it tastes good. I mean,
And who is
that's
this? Who am I talking
this is
to?
Asia. This is
Okay,
Asia.
thank you, Asia.
Yeah, of course. So I like it because it tastes good. Definitely immune modulating. So helping with sore throats and when you're kind of like feverish, but also good for freshening your breath. And then let's see, other stuff. That's more the extent that I have with it. And yellow flowers, so more than likely it can probably assist with some liver digesting bile type of situation there too.
Okay.
Mm.
And how do you make tea with it?
I'm gonna give you the non-conventional way.
Okay.
Because me usually dealing with fennel has been when I've been picking it out wild in California. So I will pick some. Sorry, I can't tell you the recommended dosage because I haven't gone on that realm. But so I've made a tea out of it. I've just taken a few leaves and I've used it to taste. But also I've included it in my food. So like a beet and fennel and some type of citrus, like a tangerine salad with some like purple onions and maybe a little bit of vinegar, salt, pepper has been something that has worked for me and it tastes really good. So for me, it has like that licorice taste. But yeah, so I've either made a tea or a salad. And what was it, a couple of weeks ago? Because y'all know I like putting stuff on pizza for some strange reason, but it was a part of like a um, pizza with like some, so I used flatbread. And I took coconut milk and put Italian seasonings and fennel and onions and I don't remember what kind of mushrooms, but I sauteed that all together and mixed it up, and it was nice. It was really good, and the fennel just brought out different flavors that I didn't expect. So that's
Okay.
how
I've
I've
had
used it.
fennel. I've had fennel in salad, but I never had the tea. So yes, I'm curious now.
Oh yeah, fennel with some lemon and honey. That's how I work it.
And if you're lazy like me, you buy fennel seeds, which they sell as a spice in the grocery store, and you can take the fennel seeds and make a tea with that. And the doctrine of signatures is correct on that, Asia, with the yellow flowers, because Indians in the Indian restaurant they have a bowl of mints that you can pick up after you eat, and it's the fennel and cumin seeds. And so that is very good for your digestion. After you eat, it's a digestive aid. So that's what the fennel is good for there.
All right.
My favorite way to have it after dinner tea helps with any gas and digestion for sure. And guess what? It's a favorite for my children. They love it. They have like the little fennel candies that you mentioned, Lenita.
Mm-hmm.
We have some really interesting comments coming in. So in regards to the fennel, Sophia, greetings, welcome, thank you for tuning in. Says, I'm breastfeeding right now, so that's one benefit. Better looking skin, treat hypertension, anti-cancer effects, digestion, and many, many more, right? We can literally just go down a whole rabbit hole and talk about just one herb, fennel, how amazing it is, right? And so many different ways to prepare it. and to take it. Thank you for representing that pizza, Asia. I knew you was gonna come through with those dope recipes too. That sounds good.
You know, I like food.
I know you like food. I like food too. And Clarissa,
Hey.
I was about to read your comment, but do you want to
Go ahead. Please do. And then I'll chime in.
Okay. All righty then. Here we go. So Clarissa is sipping on some tea. A Midsummer Night's Dream is the name of the tea. Ooh, that sounds good. Valerian root, honey bush tea, chamomile flowers, spearmint passion flowers, lemon balm lavender. Oh, wait, it gets even better, y'all. Cherries and blue cornflowers. Oh, that's all? Is that all, Clarissa? You want to talk about this tea? You want to tell us about this tea? Please do.
Well, I was shopping at this Black-owned, woman-owned bookstore, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to buy, and this said, this is a tea for book lovers. So I was like, okay, well, let me try it. Y'all see how pretty the labeling is? It's so pretty. It has like floral designs and everything on it. I have tried it already, and it just makes you feel very relaxed. It's a very relaxing tea. It smells really good. And yeah, I'm just loving it. I've only tried it once, but yeah, I would like to know more about valerian root. That one was very unfamiliar to me. Of course, I'm familiar with spearmint. I know it's a cooling herb. Me and you have talked about passion flowers and lemon balm and lavender. Of course, everybody knows about cherries, but this blue cornflower. So I want to know about blue cornflowers and valerian root. Yeah.
I can tell you about the valerian root. That's some good stuff there. Valerian root is very relaxing, and as the name is similar to Valium, it's where they began, where they started from when creating Valium. So valerian is really relaxing. If some people take it just to go to sleep, but others take it for anxiety, and it is just a calm all nerve. But and that and the passion flower together, you just in for a good night.
Mm-hmm. That part, most definitely. You combine both of them, Clarissa. So we're gonna be checking on you this evening in the Herbalist Lounge to make sure you still with us. If you disappear, we'll know what happened. We'll know what happened. And gotcha. I prefer valerian has a very strong taste in my opinion, and y'all know I like bitters. It has like a funkiness about it, but I think it's great that you're synergizing it with a lot of other herbs. With the chamomile and the spearmint, you can when you add spearmint and lemon balm and lavender, and then you got cherries. That just sounds like a really good synergy going on there. But I like mine in tincture form, Lanita.
Yep.
Add a few
That's the
drops
best way.
Yeah, because that kind of helps. Kind of like hops. Hops is also it's a bitter sedative. You know, but that taste, whew, it's just too much for me. So we'll do a few drops in the tea. But that sounds like a really good mixture, Clarissa. Thanks for sharing that with us.
You're welcome. And I am calling in from Covington, Georgia.
Whoop, whoop. Georgia's in the house. Okay. And Sophia is also sharing some additional info from Google. Thank you, Sophia. Let's see what Google had to say about valerian. Valerian has been used medicinally since the times of early Greece and Rome. Historically, valerian was used to treat insomnia, migraine, fatigue, and stomach cramps. Today, valerian is promoted for insomnia, anxiety, depression, menstrual syndrome, PMS, premenstrual syndrome, menopause symptoms, and headaches. All kinds of applications, kind of like what y'all mentioned. One herb can be good for so many things. And Asia made a really good point. There's lots of peer-reviewed studies on valerian root. So a really good herb to work with. There you go.
Pharmaceutical companies trying to figure out how to patent it. That's why they did all the research.
You already know. You already know it. but we happy. We just got to check them studies because they be discriminating on them herbs too. That's a whole other story.
That's right.
And yeah, Sophia, we're happy to have you. So big up Clarissa for inviting you. And Clarissa's your amazing doula. Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, Clarissa's an amazing birth worker. So thank you for joining and coming into our community. We're happy to have you. All right. So we got a lot of fun stuff going on
Now,
today.
how we gonna protect them herbs?
How we go, Lanita, I was just about to ask you, how are we gonna protect them herbs? So we started off the first 20 minutes talking about, which I love it. Everyone's talking about how we can protect ourselves. How are we gonna protect them plants? 'Cause that's
Right.
what tonight's build is about. But you know what? It kind of reminds me of, you know, when you start really building with plants, they remind you so much of yourself, right? Which is why we call them our plant ancestors and our plant allies, our plant relatives. So I don't know. What do y'all think about maybe ways we can protect plants are similar to how we protect ourselves? Like a lot of the stuff we do for ourselves, maybe we can utilize that to protect our plants in these conditions. So I'm gonna open it up to y'all. When you think of protecting your plants, what are the things that come to mind, or like what are you all dealing with right now, or what has been a challenge? Like, oh, I gotta protect my plants from what? Let's talk about it.
Well, if you're in Texas, you got to protect them from the sun. And in Senegal now, it's already over 100 degrees. So I'm going to be looking at how to protect them from the heat. And my biggest problem is overwatering or underwatering. So finding that healthy balance in, in drought conditions or in high heat.
That's a good point. Lanita, I have a question for you. So in Senegal, I know right now you said you're in the dry season, not the rainy season, right?
Yeah, rainy season starts next month.
Okay, so when you say you're in the dry season, because it's a whole different location. Does it rain at all, or it does not rain? It has not been raining at all, or do you have periodic?
Yes, it does not rain for. It does
Gotcha.
not rain for 9 months.
So that's a whole other type of protect your plants, right?
Yeah, that's definitely.
Over here, we're in I'm using my little quotation fingers. We're in a drought here, Florida. But you know how it usually it rains so much and humidity levels are so high, but it has not been as humid. It has not been raining as much as it normally has. So,
Mhm.
I like that because I mean, yes and no, but it makes us have to problem solve. It makes people say, this stuff isn't unlimited. Things do change. What can we do? We got to start talking about this. This is important. So, what are some ways in which you guys protect y'all plants during drought or dry season, or just when you need water? Does anyone have any input on that or any thoughts or experiences?
Asia, that's gonna be your new problem. What you do? What you gonna do?
Look, what you gonna do? So look, I always like waiting for people to say something. So I'm sorry, I came in with the Wu-Tang stuff. Because me and Lanita, we have similar climates right now. I'm in Nevada, so in Vegas. So I mean, it's 106 degrees right now. But it's taken me back to the days when I lived in El Paso, right? So, and I was, working with the permaculture folks out there. And so, something that we would start off with, and actually every climate, is number one, good, healthy soil. But like if you're also planting stuff in the ground, like you have to find ways to preserve water. So we dug a lot of swales. I've dug so many swales in my life. Oh my goodness. To make sure that, you're keeping the moisture in, and the roots of the plants are being able to suck that up. So, that's a two-part thing, but number one is good, healthy soil, and ensuring that the plants have the nutrients that it needs, compost, moisture, all that good stuff. So that's I'll listen more.
Asia, what's a swell?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. So Sorry, I'm getting my plant nerd stuff. So, when planting plants in the ground, what we would do is we would create a basis. So a swale is just a big old ditch, basically, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just a ditch. But it's covered up with many, many layers of compost or like wood or what have you. And
Mhm.
just different things that will give the plant nutrients. And so then during the rainy season, like the monsoon season, when it rains, those swales just fill up and they hold water. And when plants are
Mm.
drinking from the bottom, the roots, they have that option to drink as much as they need. They intake as much as they need without getting the root rot, because you still have different layers of stuff within the swales. So there you go.
So I love that.
Good to
There you go.
know.
Good answer. Good question. Good answer. Thank you all.
Mhm.
So a swell. Can you spell that, Asia, just so people want to look into it themselves and do some further
Y'all
work?
know I'm country. I think it's SWALE, I think, or
Whales.
but
We'll figure it out.
yeah, look, put that in and put permaculture behind it, and then it'll tell you the correct spelling if that ain't right.
Right. Awesome. So there you have it as well. And Asia brought up some really good points, that the foundation, the soil, the water, creating a good environment, especially if you're planting in the ground. All right. What else are some things that we are doing? Lanita, I know you mentioned some issues with potential overwatering, and Asia just
Yep.
mentioned the swell can be a potential solution of having that good balance. But still, even
Mhm.
when we have a good balance and there's certain situations, maybe plants were already planted before a swell was created, or what do you do if you are facing root rot and that plant is already well established? What are some things we can do, and how will we know if a plant is being overwatered or underwatered? Where are some places where we can probably start, or to start the journey?
I can tell y'all what happened. We were in drought in Texas, so I'm watering, and then it starts to rain. Well, my plants, it was actually the arbor. It was peach trees and apple trees, and we got fungus. And the way we could tell it was a fungus in the tree, you could see it on the leaves. And so that way I learned there's a different you have to be careful about what time of day you water, and then you have to worry about, is the water getting to the roots or is it just staying right up at the top? So you have to be very intentional about your watering. So the best time to water is right when it's light, but the sun isn't up yet, and right as the sun is going down. So if you're in one of those really hot places, if you're just watering once a day, then, you can pick one. But if you're in one of those hot places and you have to water twice a day, you want to do it at sun up and sunset.
That's a good point too. And it makes me think about rainwater. If you do have rain from time to time, having
Mhm.
like rain barrels to collect the rainwater can be very beneficial. And when you first turn on the hose, what happens when you first turn on the hose? Right? Yeah, and it's hot. It's like boiling water,
It's
right?
really hot,
And I'm
yeah.
like, I don't want to. I had to learn the hard way. And then I'm feeling bad because I'm wasting all this good water, and I'm like, man, all this hot water. I'm not trying to kill this, anything else. So, um, then it gets really cold because the water is deeper, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, how they say it's not too good to have too hot of a liquid or super cold, because it can definitely stress your body out, and it can be the same with plants. So one thing I really like about collecting rainwater is the rainwater usually is a similar temperature as the ground and the soil, so it doesn't stress plants out with too extreme temperatures. So if you are able to collect rainwater, like right now in Florida, for example, we just had a rain today, and it hadn't rained in a long time, which like I said, is rare. We got a lot of climate change, a lot of things are happening. But utilizing that rainwater can go a long way, especially right now if you're growing plants that love heat, like eggplants, tomatoes, okra, Their roots do not like, not only do they not like hot water, but really, really cold water can also stress them out. Any type of rapid soil temperature change. So utilize that rainwater if you're able to get that too.
And Martina, while you're talking about that rainwater, sometimes when you have water, stagnant water in barrels, it can develop all kinds of critters, bacteria, fungus in there. One thing to do that you can help with that is to put moringa seeds in there. And you can buy moringa seeds in a lot of the Latino grocery stores. I know sell them. They may sell it in regular grocery stores too now, but moringa seeds will kill some of those bacterials, different types of bacteria and fungi that will grow in your stagnant water. So if you're catching water in rain barrels, just make sure that that water is good before you give it to your plants, because you don't want to give them something, that's going to be even more detrimental. So anyway, that's one thing to help with that.
Most definitely. Good point. And make sure you have a cover on it. You don't want those mosquitoes creating
Mhm.
mosquito breeding ground. Let me tell you about the mosquitoes, boy. Yeah. Okay.
You triggered an idea, or actually a memory. When I was a young kid, I don't recall exactly where or why, but I learned that you can build an artificial water table under your plants.
Mm.
And I remember we dug down the plants. It was like a vegetable garden, but we dug down a good 2 feet, maybe, about 2 feet, 30 inches at the most. And we put gravel down there and large, not large rocks, but gravel. And I was told that will make it easy for the roots to expand or continue growing further down into the ground, and of course, anchor them into the soil. And then we put the regular dirt back over it, and then we laid the plant on top. But that created an artificial water table. I don't know if that's helpful, but when you mentioned swells, all those memories flowed back to me. And that's got to be a good 40 or 50 years.
That's a good, that's a drain table, and that's a very good idea. I had forgotten about that. That's a good idea, because that won't let you get root rot either. That water helps to filter that. I mean, the rocks in there help to filter so the roots can go down and get the water deep.
I remember the word or the phrase root rot. I remember that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good one.
I love that because it's something I'm exploring right now. And this was brought up by you all, Asia Lanita. We were having one of our builds and our talks, a keyhole garden. You guys remember that? Because I had one I had to remove out of the backyard, and it just left a big old hole in the ground. And I'm like, what can I do with this space? And yes, Lanita, I'm still working on that space, so don't judge me. But what you just mentioned is, I started looking into a keyhole garden, which is like a raised bed, and you pretty much have like the compost down there, water, the gravel, and you grow on top. But it does help conserve the water as well. So I guess there's many different variations of doing it. So lots of things to explore. I love it. Okay.
Martina, you mentioned mosquitoes. What about the other bugs that's eating our plants?
What other
What
bugs?
you got for
Like,
that?
what other bugs?
Well,
Aphids.
grasshoppers.
The aphids.
Yes, aphids.
We love aphids, don't we? Especially when you're going in there with your plants, loving them, taking pictures with your plants. And then when you come inside, you got a bunch of itchy red bites from aphids. Oh my goodness. In places you don't even want to know. Yeah, that right there. Let's talk about some of that. So one thing that came to mind was, how plants protect themselves. How we can use plant remedies to help ourselves, but what about using teas and decoctions and tinctures on maybe certain types of extracts on our plants? So one thing that you can do for the aphids, you can try this out. 2 herbs that come to mind And it depends, on what herbs and what plants and trees you have locally, but oaks and elders are really high in tannic acid. And what happens a lot, has anyone ever heard of like tannin poisoning on pastures when the cows start eating too much of the oak trees? And what do the trees do intelligently to protect themselves? They start producing a lot of tannic acid, right? To deter them. If they're not smart enough to do it, they can poison them. But plants are very clever. They do this to deter insects as well. So you also can make a tea out of things such as oak bark, elder leaves and shoots. So with the elder tree, a lot of people utilize the berries and the flowers, and a lot of us are told not to use the barks. They are used traditionally in herbalism, but you have to be very careful because it can be toxic, and you can use them to create like a decoction or a tea and put it in a spray bottle and spray it on your plants to kind of help deter aphids. That's something you can try to see if it works for you. There's other things you can do as well. Does anyone else have any things that they use for aphids, or any ideas or thoughts in their experiences? Grasshoppers.
I got a grasshopper cure that works. It's garlic water. I had some really large hibiscus plants, and the grasshoppers were just picnicking out on them. And spraying that with garlic, they don't like it, and that would be good. And even if I see a grasshopper sitting up there on it, I'd spray it on the grasshopper, and they take off. So the only problem with that is that when it rains, you got to go back out there and reapply. But um, it's really good for keeping the grasshoppers off. And usually that grasshopper season isn't so long; it's about a month. So it's not long that you have to do that. But if they're eating up your plants, they can mess up a garden real quick.
Real quick.
Better than a toxic chemical.
Yes, right.
Ladybugs for aphids.
Oh, you put the ladybugs in there, but don't the ladybugs start munching on your leaves?
I haven't had that experience.
Oh, good. Okay.
I'll tell you one thing the ladybugs love is white fly, which is a huge issue out here for citrus. But that's their natural predator, are ladybugs.
They eat like mites.
Yeah, ladybugs eat other bugs.
They eat like mites and stuff like that.
Oh, good.
Yeah, mites. So ladybugs are our friends. Those are our friendly insects in the garden. That's a good point too.
Different kind of ladybugs.
It's two different kind of ladybugs.
We got the good ones and the bad.
You got the good ones and the bad ones.
Oh, is that cute? Is that cute? Break it down for us now, brother. Break it down for us. We want to hear about these bad ladybugs.
Some of
Right.
the genetic ones the spots are different. They're bigger. The smaller spots on the ladybugs with the more red, they're the original ladybugs. They got generic everything. They make bugs to kill stuff.
What?
I was reading that the other day.
That's crazy. So yeah, there you have it. Yeah. So that's those Rasta beetles. We have they're red, green, and black. They're really pretty, but they look like regular ladybug. I mean, they look like ladybugs, but they're red. Yeah, one side is red, one side is green, and the back of the head is gold, and then the bug is black. It's a beautiful bug. Yeah, but they eat up.
Yeah,
they eat everything. Definitely.
In other words, you're trying to say the real fools are the humans, the people. We be doing some stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Like trying to introduce stuff here in the populations. Like Florida has a ton. I mean, everywhere has stories like that. Like how we got love bugs out here, and them trying to take care of invasive plant species by bringing bugs from Asia over here. And I'm not talking about my lavender loving herb friend over here. I'm talking about the other side of the globe. And finding out now we got to find something to control this population. Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, there's definitely some good critters in the garden too, that we want to invite. And that's a good point, making sure that we have a good environment for the beneficial insects, and not just insects, nematodes, our worms, everything in between, wildlife in general, because it's a wildlife habitat. So I like what Lanita said, being mindful of protecting the water if you're utilizing rain barrels. Also
Mhm.
keeping them covered, not just for mosquitoes, but small animals can fall in there and drown. You can create habitats for animals and stuff, beneficial animals and insects, such as pollinators. I everything comes together to work together, kind of like Asia said when Asia was talking about the soil. Starting off with a good soil is going to give the plants a good immune system. It's going to help them fight, and bringing in all those beneficial critters is just going to create a stronger ecosystem, and that's ultimately what we're trying to do, versus just isolate one aspect of the garden to protect the plants.
So does anybody have experienced, like the gentleman said, good worms and bad worm? I mean, they're good bugs and bad bugs. Earthworms, they're our friends. They help my compost bin, but them caterpillars will eat up everything. Anybody got something for caterpillars or other leaf munching worms?
Yeah, bringing that bird that you see down in the bottom. See, you bring in the birds to eat the worm, to eat the caterpillar, but then
Yeah.
birds are going to eat your seeds in your garden bed.
But real talk though, guineas are really good for that.
Yes.
Guineas eat ticks and other little bugs, and I don't know if they get up there and eat them caterpillars. I have to see about that, but they can fly, so yeah, guineas might do that, and they're not so harmful on your plants.
Bringing in the
Now
friendly
llamas are, but guineas aren't.
animals. Okay. So how's everyone doing? Does anyone else have anything to input in their experiences, or what are some other things that we're thinking of, ways in which we need to protect our plants? What y'all got?
Shade. So Lanita was talking about it earlier, protecting the plants from the sun. And so it depends on the scale of what you're growing. But I mean, there's different ways. So you can do like shade cloth, you could do like natural, like creating microclimates and planting under trees. You can do like a hoop house. So there's different types of shade that you would want to use, and making sure that the sun doesn't burn your plants down, because that's what I'm experiencing over here. Everything is dead except for the aloe.
I really like shade cloth because right now we're working on building microclimates and whatnot, and everything's kind of exposed. It's either really sunny or too shady,
Mm.
But the shade cloths I love because you can move it around, and with just some wood stocks, just you can get real creative and create those cloths when you need it, and you can remove them when you don't need it anymore. So I like that.
In Senegal, in the garden, a lot of people will put randomly place a papaya and a moringa trees. Papaya and moringa don't grow too high so that they, block out all of the sun, but they're good enough, in this to keep the sun off. And then also when it starts raining, they get inundated, and so some of the plants will get too much water. Well, the roots from those trees help to absorb the excess water so the plants don't get too much water. So randomly placing trees throughout the garden is a good, it's helpful for the sun and for the water.
Mm-hmm. That's true, and it's also good to plant plants that love water together, and then some of them
Hmm.
can utilize some of the shade companion planting,
Hmm.
like you just kind of said. So that's another good point. Think about those complementary relationships.
Hmm.
I'm exploring them right now. So,
Anybody have experience with mint? I just read that mint is good to put in the garden to keep down all of the mosquitoes and other little bitey bugs. So not your pollinators, just the annoying ones. Anybody have an experience with that?
I grew up with mint all around the backyard in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Mint all over the place. And then, of course, from time to time, my sisters or my mother would go out and grab up some mint and throw it in the blender and put it into the food or make a drink or put in the lemonade or something. But we didn't have many problems with a lot of bugs, as now I'm remembering.
Oh, cool. That's a good one.
Yeah, mint. That sounds good. What about some other ones that can help deter unwanted bugs besides mint?
Calendula, peppers.
Peppers.
Merry-go-round.
Oh, that's a favorite. Can you let them know what it is? Because I think we mentioned merry-go-round. What's merry-go-round, Lanita?
Marigold.
You know, we got different common names in different regions. Around here, we call it merry-go-round.
Oh, Martina, what are the three sisters
Three sisters.
to
Okay.
plant together?
You got the squash, you got the corn,
Mhm.
and then the third one, you got the peas. And then there's a fourth
Yeah.
sister, which is it's a herb.
Which is what?
No, that's what I'm asking you guys. I totally forgot the fourth one.
Was it squash? Didn't you say squash?
No, there was a fourth one, which I believe was an herb, kind of similar to that I'm not that familiar with. I've done the three sisters.
Oh, okay.
I remember we were
Wasn't
talking
it calendula? I was trying to
It
remember
might
too.
be. Yeah.
But I was asking someone who knew, and they mentioned a different herb that just didn't ring a bell in my mind. But
Okay.
Maybe.
yeah,
But the three sisters, that's a age-old proven technique growing those plants together. They're definitely companions for each other. So cool.
Yeah, companion planting is a good thing. Plant some of those aromatic plants like the mint Lanita just mentioned
Mhm.
in and out the garden to help deter.
I think rosemary keeps stuff down too. She's a good one.
Yeah.
And what Miss Beverly was talking about, the night plant. What's the one that citronella? The night bloomers. Yeah. Those are good.
Nice.
This is Janet. Can anyone hear me?
We sure can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, great. Back to the mints.
Mhm.
I know in the Midwest, even if you keep your house scrupulously clean, you can get little tiny bugs that usually come with flour, and nickname them wheat bugs. And they'll get into your cabinets and any kind of powdery substance. But if you take mint leaves, you can take the fresh ones and just put the leaves, not the stems and things, but the leaves, and just lay them around the, the shelves on your cabinet, and they'll give a fragrant smell. But as they start drying, they'll also they'll repel the bugs, so you won't get little bugs inside of your wheat or other kinds of powders and flours.
And now you tell us this. After all of the meal bugs, all the flour and rice that I've had to throw away, all I needed was some mint leaves.
Right, right.
Oh, wow.
Protect
Thank
your
you.
plants and protect your food. Because plants are
That's
food.
it.
So that is totally
That's
appropriate.
it.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
All right. Did we hit all of the bugs, minerals? What minerals? How do we add minerals to our plants, to our gardens?
Peace, Adjuba. Good to see you.
Is that through composting?
Uh-huh. Well, you can add nutrients through that. My best source is Lewis the llama. Llama llama beans are highest in nitrogen of any of the manures. So that's a great fertilizer or a way to treat your field. Like right now, I am treating the fields before rainy season starts, spreading the llama beans all over. So when it starts to rain, it'll put the nutrients from the llama and alpaca poop are two of the best for fertilizing your field, but that's the nitrogen. Uh, Calcium, I've heard of eggshells. Somebody actually told me to use Tums, um, which Tums do have calcium in them. So I guess it could be beneficial. But anybody know any other ways to get some nutrients in that soil?
Compost tea. So
Yes.
herbs, you can use your herbs to protect your herbs. Use your plants to protect your plants, kind of like what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Nettles. Lanito, why would you want to work with nettles? Can you tell them about how wonderful nettles is, even just for us as humans? And then how could we
Right.
be nutrient rich for our soil and our plants?
Well, the nettles have a lot of if people blame them for, the stinging nettle but the nettle is very good as an antihistamine or to keep down other stuff.
Mhm.
The plants that may destroy your plants, but I know you can make a tea with the nettles, and you don't even have to cook it. Just soak the nettles in the water and then pour that water over the garden. You can make that or part of your compost tea. Put some nettles in there. Nettles is good for us and it's good for the plants. So definitely great in the garden.
Definitely, like it's immunomodulating, like you said.
Hmm.
And it's interesting because I recently learned how nettles can actually help get the sap moving again after extreme weather. So, like nettles, when we take it, it helps get the blood moving. It can be a diuretic. It also helps with the plants get things moving, which can deter insects and stuff. Yeah, nettles. You can also add some comfrey in there. You can ferment it for like 10 days plus to get even some more good bacteria in there. Another one that I have not personally tried, but I'm gonna try to try it out because I got my hands on some is kelp liquid. Kelp liquid can help, it's said to help with giving the soil nutrients, and you want to ferment it. And they say it takes a little longer to ferment because it's a sea green, so it takes a little longer to dissolve into the water. They say about 6 to 8 weeks, but you can dilute that and spray it on the soil and around the crops. I'm going to be trying that one. And on the next Herbalist Lounge, I'll give y'all an update and let y'all know how it worked. So I'll be drinking my greens and
I'm
And
listening.
plants.
I'm listening and learning, and you might laugh at this one, but I do recall somebody, and I did it myself, I was told to. Ivory soap in a spray bottle with regular water and spray it over your plants to keep down on predators and bugs. And after it rains, just do it again. And when you go out to pick your vegetables and fruits for your salad or whatever you're going to eat, the ivory soap washes off very easily.
That's a good idea.
I'm gonna tell you, I love that because in the community garden, that was like the
Yes.
number one thing we used was a little bit of water and some soap. Something about it, as soon as we saw, insects or mildew, fungus, we would just spray the leaves. Matter of fact, we had the children go around and do it, you know. And it really helped with the issue. It deterred all the bad disease, and it usually wouldn't come back. And like you said, it keeps your produce clean when you go and harvest. Rinse it right off. I love that. And it's so simple. Thank you.
Oh, and neem oil, that's the bomb. Neem oil helps get rid of fungus. It helps get rid of, it's another plant disease that they get where the leaves turn funny looking. Using neem oil and you mix it with water and spray it on there.
Spell it. Spell it.
Neem. Neem. It's a plant that it has a lot of medicinal uses for humans, but it actually works really good for plants too. And now I found even some nurseries sell neem oil. So neem is a good one. And it's something again that's non-toxic, that is helpful, beneficial, and you can put it on your plants.
Mhm.
Nice. That's a good one, Lanita. Neem.
Mhm.
All right. Asia says fish emulsion in the soil has made beautiful, vibrant plants. Just a disclaimer, it smells like fish for a day or two, though. All right.
You guys,
Oh,
you're sparking so many memories now. As soon as you said fish, I remember taking a whole fish, the head, everything, and planting it and putting it in the ground underneath the plants as well. Was that for minerals?
Yes, it was.
Okay. I don't know who taught me this stuff. I'm going to say my third grade teacher was a Black woman that was an absolute angel. And she's 95 years old right now, still kicking. And Mrs. O'Bannon, Janet. And she took us through a whole lot of that stuff. Just real quick, one day she told all the class, 25 or 30 kids, everybody bring a vegetable or something to school. And she made a soup right there in front of us. And she said, I'm going to give everybody work to do. You take care of your work. I'm going to start cooking the soup. And it smelled so good by lunchtime. Even the bad kids were obedient and ready to have soup. And but she made life experiences happen in a public school, and it's just something that you just don't hear of nowadays.
Mhm. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I love it when we spark your memory. Maybe we can maybe we can spark it a couple more times before we say goodbye, because I'm loving these stories. These stories are everything. It's like we're talking about these different things, but these obviously have stood the test of time. I love that. So
I'm enjoying remembering as soon as you say something. Somebody said the word fish, and I thought about, wait a minute, we planted fish in the ground.
well, clinical studies have shown that tuning into the Herbalist Lounge has helped boost memory, just as well as ginkgo biloba. So, hey, we would love to have you next month and months to come. Okay, let's see this. We can do clinical studies.
All right, you need to let us know.
Okay.
Another product that we use in the garden, when I first moved to Texas, people were using Seven Dust, and they say it's okay to use Seven Dust on your plants, but I'm not really sure about that. But DE, diatomaceous earth, and you can buy food grade diatomaceous earth, which is really a plankton. They grind it up into a powder, and we put it in the animal feed as a dewormer, as a natural dewormer for the animals. And you also can put it in your garden because we had big ant problems. And so the DE kills ants and other little creepy crawlers that, get in your plants and really just destroy them. So that's a good one that you can use, and it's also safe. You can dust your plants with the DE. And don't ask me how to spell diatomaceous, but it's diatomaceous earth.
That's a good one.
Mhm.
and I'm gonna throw this out here because I'm learning and I'm excited about worms and nematodes. So I went to my first worm composting workshop on Saturday. And I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot just even about the anatomy, physiology of earthworms. But this came up a lot, Asia, Lanita. We were talking about different ways to compost, right? Like some people say, don't put meat in your compost. You can add meat. And when it all comes down to it, through experience, like a lot of us have spoke on it. No, we've been in situations where people use meat. And at the end of the day, everything will break down eventually, maybe at a slower rate, but it will break down, right? And you know how some, like we were mentioning, using onions and garlic in the garden and whatnot. In the workshop they were just mentioning, like, you know, with being mindful of not adding meat to your compost, or where you want to encourage worms, just because it can create obviously pathogens, so you have to be mindful of that, of course, and the odor and smell, but also it creates a environment that's not conducive for worms to thrive in, which is if you're wanting to have the earthworms to enhance the soil and to get the worm castings, which are super good for the soil, that can pose issues. And then also with the garlic and the onion, that also can cause issues for worms. But once again, onions and garlic can be very beneficial when you want to deter pests, but sometimes you can deter the good animals as well, or insects. So it's just all about balance and what you're looking for at the end of the day. That's what my conclusion was, right? So just seeing what the balance and the needs are.
Cool.
Yeah, big up the DE.
Mm-hmm.
Earth. Try to say that.
If anyone wants to know, it's DIATOMACEOUS.
Woo! That's it. Diatomaceous.
Dia
Third grade teachers,
Tom.
It spells just like it looks.
Like that. Thank you. Awesome. All right, y'all. What else have we not covered? I mean, we talked about protecting from the sun, needing too much water, not enough water, insects, pests, nutrients. We even talked about protecting your food, protecting your plant.
I think we hit them all.
Get them all.
Hopefully you all got something. We got something.
I know I did.
Yeah, me
Some
too.
memories up in here, you know. Yeah.
Just the comments on the things that use fish or some fish products to help with fertilizing some soil. Be careful with that, because one of my friends found a wonderful sounding recipe for your house plants and outdoor plants, and it included fish and many other things. And I tried it. Don't try it on your favorite plant. All of my plants thinking I was helping, and it killed some of my favorites. So beware of fertilized fish. Just test plants to see if they can maybe help an ailing plant get better. But if it kills it, don't put it on your favorite. So
Makes sense.
I have to grow some new things now.
Yeah, I would think we put some fish around your plant, you're gonna get a bunch of cats that's out there eating it up, digging it up too.
Well, these were on some indoor house plants.
Oh, okay.
If you could use it on indoor or outdoor plants, then maybe they were better for the outdoor plants. I'll put it that way.
Okay, so I have a story for you as well when you brought up the cats. that couple of neighbors were feuding with one another, and one of the neighbors took some catnip and placed it all around the other neighbor's house. And all the cats in the neighborhood would make noise all night long at their house.
Yes.
That
Definitely.
was a good revenge.
Whoa.
Low down and dirty.
See, I'm over here cackling.
But thank you, everybody. It was informative, very much so.
Yes. Good.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank each and every one of y'all. We all made this happen together.
Right.
I learned so much dope information. So upcoming events, as we ease out, we want to share any upcoming events. If you all have any upcoming events in your community that you would like to share or stuff that you have going on, please feel free to do so now. And also feel free to share information. You can share your social media handles if you like in the chat. If you know you want to share a business or promote something that you have going on, feel free to do so now. You can unmute yourself or you can go ahead and throw it in the chat and we'd be glad to support.
Yes, I actually have an upcoming event. It's through my nonprofit, Belly Bumps Baby and You, and it will be on July the 13th. So if you can go to Instagram and check out Belly Bumps Baby and You, stay tuned for more details. And we hope to see you there. It's our first Mommy and Me group, so we're excited about that.
Yay. Thank you, Clarissa. Can you put that social media handle in the chat for us, please? Awesome. Okay.
Clarissa said that catnip is good for cramps. It's also good for children that they say have ADD. Catnip tea is really good for children as calming them and helping them to focus.
It's good for adults too. I take it.
Mm-hmm.
I used to know a lady who would make a mild version of catnip milk for colicky babies, and she said it would calm them down. She said you can't make it real strong, but you just make a mild version of it and put it in a bottle with some warm milk, and it'll help calm their colic. I hope that was the truth. I don't have any scientific proof of that.
No, I believe it would really work though. Yeah, because I know it definitely works on children, so it would make sense that it would help with the colicky babies.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nicknamed Meowana, like Meowana.
Yeah, yeah. Makes cats high. Yeah, they get
Yeah.
crazy on it.
Yeah, I love it.
Love it.
That sounds like a testimony.
About to give me some catnip right now, y'all. So we about to wrap this up. Okay, now. So if you guys are not already following us on not Instagram, but yes, Herbalist Lounge on Instagram, but most definitely on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel because all of our Herbalist Lounge of the past are recorded, and then you can find them there and you can watch them, you can share them with your friends. If you're like, what's that dope recipe we were just talking about, that last Herbalist Lounge, go to our YouTube channel and go ahead and tune in. We had a lot of dope videos on there. And also we have some shorter videos brought to you by the Three Spice Sisters, which is Asia, Lanita, and me, Martina. So definitely check that out and subscribe at Herbalist Lounge on IG, Facebook, and on our YouTube channel. Okay.
Okay. How could you repeat one more time how to find you on YouTube? What do we look up?
Most definitely. So our would be at Herbalist Lounge, or if you search Herbalist Lounge.
At Herbalist Lounge.
At Herbalist Lounge all together. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
And it should pop up. You should see a little logo with 3 hands holding herbs or plants.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. And Lanita, do you want to
Yo.
talk about the kitchen medicine making workshop that we have that people can purchase if they're interested?
Okay, we have a kitchen medicine making workshop. Each of us presented different items and actually show you how to make it and give recipes along with that. If you're interested in that class, you can go to herbalist-lounge.thinkific.com. And that class is still available and you can get it. And watch out, y'all. There's another one coming. So, but that one is full of great information and again, very useful recipes that you can use to make things for yourself and your families.
Awesome.
Could you repeat that kitchen? It was herbalist/lounge/ what followed that?
No, it's
Okay.
herbalist-lounge.thinkific.com.
And Kai threw it inside the chat. Thank you so much, Kai. So if you're able to see the chat, you can copy and paste that if you're able to do that as well. Thank you.
Louis, can you see the chat on your phone? Or on your screen?
Yes, but now how do I pull it? How do I pull it off the chat?
I would click on it and then it should open up a window for you.
Okay.
Let us know if that works, okay?
Sometimes you can just highlight it and then paste it on a different, like
Okay,
a different Word page.
something's happening.
Yay. I love that.
Yeah, I'm on a laptop and I've lost all the pictures and I'm at kitchen medicine making workshop. Okay.
Perfect.
All right, I'm gonna forward it to you, Janet, some kind of way. I can't even find.
Thank you. Because Lanita, I never got any of your emails about tonight. So,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
I got it.
We're working on that right now. So I'm not trying to
Yes.
bombard you with links, but I'm working on typing it inside the chat since I know you're able to access it. So you can subscribe to Herbalist Lounge. So whenever the Herbalist Lounge is about to pop up or we have an event, we'll send you an email to give you a reminder. Okay. So this is for anyone who would like, if you're not, or I know a lot of you guys are already subscribed to our newsletter, and we basically just let people know, hey, this month's Herbalist Lounge is coming up, or we just posted a YouTube video, for example. It's Herbalist, and I'm going to put it in the chat in a second here. I just want to make sure I have it correctly input it. herbalist-lounge.mailchimpsites.com. All right, there you go. I went ahead and I placed it inside of the chat and I clicked on it. So hopefully you can see my screen that I am sharing, and it should bring you to a page that looks like this. And you just input the email address that you would like to be notified and updated about Herbalist Lounge events and happenings. Okay. So that is in the chat as well.
I was driving, so Louis, I'm hearing you on the, he just somehow linked me in so I can hear the conversation. I can't see the Zoom anywhere. So
Okay.
And
We'll make sure you get it. I'll make sure you get it. Yeah, I'll send it to you. Okay.
I have Herbalist Lounge and I've lost everything else on Zoom. I can still hear you guys.
Okay.
And I can't even find where I can email it to myself or to Janet or anybody. So I think I've been hacked.
I think your memories are hacking you at this point now.
Yeah, really. That's,
I think it's time for some catnip tea and some
Yeah.
valerian root for me.
Yeah,
Well, listen,
definitely.
y'all, this was amazing, and we'll make sure that we all stay connected and make sure everyone knows when the next Herbalist Lounge comes up. But all you have to remember is Herbalist Lounge is every second Monday of the month, and it's always going to be 7 p.m. Central Standard Time or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and everything else in between. All right, y'all. Does anyone else have anything they want to add before we say goodbye?
Y'all have been most lovely tonight. Thank you for everybody that was new coming in. Thank you to all the fellow herb nerds that have come back and dropped in. It was wonderful. So let's do it again next month.
Woohoo!
All right, y'all.
thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Peace
Are we gonna
out.
are we gonna have some music tonight?
Clarissa, are you gonna be singing a cappella? If not, then we definitely gonna bring the DJ. We're gonna bring the herbal DJ back next month. We're gonna celebrate during cancer season. You feel me?
I thought somebody was gonna cue the music as soon as Martina finished the closing salutation a few minutes ago. It was great. She sounded just like a pro.
Hey, I love it. Oh, we'll definitely get that DJ going back in next month, y'all. So make sure y'all tune in. Okay, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Peace, power, green blessings, everyone.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Love you
Bye.
all.
Love, love.